Hi, I'm Vanessa from speakenglishwithvanessa.com. Are you ready to test your vocabulary? Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about 15 advanced vocabulary words that you'll definitely hear in daily conversation. If you enjoyed my first advanced vocabulary quiz, you can watch it up here if you haven't enjoyed it yet. Watch out because you might see some of these words in this quiz as well. I challenge you to test yourself. If there's a word that you don't know, write it down, try to make your own sentence with it, read it out loud, try to repeat it so that it sticks in your memory. You'll have 3 seconds to guess each answer before I explain. Let's get started. Number 1, I don't know why it's taking so long to the house across the street. I don't know why it's taking so long to renovate the house across the street. I don't know why it's taking so long to relegate the house across the street. Which one is the correct answer? You have 3 seconds. 2, 1. The correct answer is, I don't know why it's taking so long to renovate the house across the street. This is a true story. The house across the street has been getting renovated for minimum 2 years. Renovate means that they're fixing it up. There's already a house. They're not building a new house, but they've repainted it, they put a new porch on it, they painted it again, they fixed up some of the outside of it, they renovated the house. We usually use this word in association with buildings or houses. That's the most common way that you'll see it. Number 2, the worst bosses will everything that you do. The worst bosses will subjugate everything that you do, or the worst bosses will scrutinize everything that you do. Which one is the correct answer? 3, 2, 1. The worst bosses will scrutinize everything that you do. This beautiful word scrutinize means to look carefully at something, but it's not just looking carefully. It's a good idea to look carefully at what your employees are doing, but this often means critically or negatively. They're scrutinizing, they're picking apart every little detail of what you do. If you've had a boss like this, you know how annoying it is. The worst bosses scrutinize every little thing. They don't trust their employees at all. They scrutinize their employees. Number 3, have you ever had a friend who just won't go home even though you've already done the dishes and brushed your teeth for bed? Have you ever had a chatty friend who just won't go home? Have you ever had a clingy friend who just won't go home? Which is the best word, chatty or clingy? 3, 2, 1. Have you ever had a clingy friend who just won't go home no matter what you do? Clingy is a beautiful adjective and it means stuck like glue. Usually in a negative way when we're talking about a person. It means that you want them to go away, but they just won't go away. So we could say that she is a clingy person. She's always with you. How are you doing? What are you doing? Can I get together? Can I come to your house today? And then she won't leave. She's clingy. We could also talk about items being clingy. Maybe the skirt was clinging to her tights. It was a clingy skirt. It's kind of sticky and that's kind of annoying when it's a skirt, but it's not always a negative thing. Maybe the cling wrap, or we call this sometimes plastic wrap, is clingy. It sticks to the bowl, and that's exactly what you want. So it means sticking. Number 4, when someone's driving poorly, I wonder if honking will the problem or help. I wonder if honking will exacerbate the problem or help. I wonder if honking will examine the problem or help. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We have a clue in this sentence. Because we have the word or, help, we know that the key word we're looking for is the opposite of help. If you're taking an English exam, this is great to look for these key words. We have our word that we're going to talk about in just a second, or help. So it needs to be the opposite of help. Sometimes when I see poor driving, I wonder if honking my horn will exacerbate the problem or help. Can you guess what the word exacerbate means? It means make it worse. It's not helping. Sometimes when someone cuts in front of me and I honk my horn, I wonder if they will drive correctly or if it will just scare them and all of a sudden they'll drive even worse. So sometimes I wonder this to myself. It happened last week that someone cut in front of me and I honked my horn and they got in the correct lane and it was fine. But sometimes I'm worried that when I honk my horn, it will exacerbate the problem, make it worse, because that person will just be surprised and then veer off the road. Number 5, I'm usually when I walk alone at night. I'm usually wary when I walk alone at night, or I'm usually wiry when I walk alone at night. There's only one difference between these two words, and that's the vowel. Which one is it? 3, 2, 1. I'm usually wary when I walk alone at night. And this just means careful, cautious. I'm usually wary. I look around me. I try to stay alert because I want to stay safe. I'm usually wary, cautious of my surroundings when I walk alone at night. Make sure that you pronounce this word correctly. Wary. It kind of sounds like wear. I'm wearing clothes. Wear, and then you just add E at the end. Wary. If you're in the Fearless Fluency Club, you already know this word because we talked about it a couple months ago. If you're not in the Fearless Fluency Club, you can click up here to learn more with me every month and learn great vocabulary expressions like the ones in this lesson. Number 6, I was surprised that she was about doing the dishes because she seemed so put together in her life. I was surprised that she was about the dishes. I was surprised that she was testy about doing the dishes. I was surprised that she was negligent about doing the dishes. In the sentence, maybe you don't know what put together means. That's going to be a key element here, but we can imagine in our heads something that is put together. When you have a puzzle and it's put together, it means it's completed, it's finished, it looks nice. So we can kind of piece together the rest of that sentence to guess what our key word is here. Let me tell you in 3, 2, 1. I was surprised she was negligent about doing the dishes. Negligent. What does this word sound like? Do you know the word neglect? This means that you're forgetting something. If you were neglected as a child, this means that your parents didn't pay attention to you. They forgot you. They ignored you. We can kind of imagine that for the dishes, that she was negligent about the dishes. The word negligent means that you often forget important tasks. In this situation, we have someone who is put together. They're organized. It seems like they always know what's going on. They're never confused or worried or uncertain. They are put together. But surprisingly, she is negligent about the dishes. She has tons of dishes in her sink. We could say that she often forgets important tasks. She is negligent. Number 7, we rented a house in the English countryside. We rented a quaint house in the English countryside, or we rented a tactful house in the English countryside. Which of these words feels the most correct? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We rented a quaint house in the English countryside. The word quaint means cute in kind of an old-fashioned way. So it kind of makes us think about simple times a long time ago, maybe our grandparents or hundreds and hundreds of years ago, this beautiful, cute little house. This is something that seems typical in the English countryside. There are quaint houses. This is kind of a stereotype, but you can use that word quaint to talk about somewhere that you went on vacation. Oh, I love this little village. It's so quaint. It's cute. Number 8, I often wish that architecture in the US was more pleasing. I often wish that architecture in the US was more discreetly pleasing, or I often wish that architecture in the US was more aesthetically pleasing. Which of these 2 words is correct? 3, 2, 1. The answer is, I often wish that architecture in the US was more aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetically means something to do with beauty. Oh, it's so aesthetically pleasing to see quaint old houses, or if you've ever visited Europe and you've seen those beautiful buildings that have existed for hundreds of years, it is aesthetically pleasing. That means it's pleasing to your eyes. It looks beautiful. All those colors together in your dress are so aesthetically pleasing. We often use those two words together, aesthetically pleasing. But on the other hand, architecture in the US isn't really known for being aesthetically pleasing. Unless you go to some older areas of New York, most places in the US just look like this, just some big box stores with big parking lots. Some downtown areas are kind of cute, but in general, architecture in the US is not so aesthetically pleasing, and I wish it was. Number 9, I'm sure this is not you. Sometimes people can be rude online because it's easy to be anonymous, or sometimes people can be rude online because it's easy to be assimilated. Which of these two words is correct? 3, 2, 1. Sometimes, unfortunately, people can be rude online because it's easy to be anonymous. Anonymous. This means that your identity is hidden. Maybe you just have a screen name, nobody knows who you are, you can say whatever you want. So it's easy to be rude online. Did you recognize this word assimilated from the first vocabulary test? I hope so. If not, make sure you go watch it. Number 10, do you think that social media content that you see, do you think that social media censors content that you see, or do you think that social media subtracts content that you see? Which one's correct? 3, 2, 1. Do you think that social media censors content that you see? The word censor means hide something that's unacceptable. Maybe for a music album, they might say censored or explicit, and this helps parents to know, I don't want my 5-year-old to listen to this music because there is something in here that needs to be blocked. But when it comes to social media, maybe the people who run social media are blocking certain things so that we don't see it. This is a controversial opinion, and I don't really know what I think about it. I don't really think much about it often, but I want to know for you, do you think that social media censors the content that we see? Let me know in the comments below and use the word censor. Number 11, the mother gave an sigh when her son got in trouble at school again. The mother gave an angelic sigh when her son got in trouble at school again. Or, the mother gave an exasperated sigh when her son got in trouble at school again. Is it angelic or exasperated? 3, 2, 1. The mother gave an exasperated sigh when her son got in trouble at school again. Does this word sound familiar? Does it sound like a word we talked about previously? Exacerbate. Oh, it's not the same word. One word has a B, exacerbate. This means to make something worse. If I honk my horn, will it exacerbate the problem? Or in our sample sentence here, we have a mother who's frustrated. That's what the word exasperate with a P means. Frustrated. Oh, son, why are you getting in trouble at school again? Exasperated. The word exasperate means to breathe out. So we can kind of imagine the mother going, why are you in trouble again? She's exasperated. She's blowing air out. She's frustrated. Number 12, even though he tries to be, he still can't pay his bills. Even though he tries to be fair, he still can't pay his bills. Or even though he tries to be frugal, he still can't pay his bills. Which one of these two F words is correct? Fair or frugal? 3, 2, 1. Even though he tries to be frugal, he still can't pay his bills. The word frugal means careful with your money. It's generally a positive thing. If you want to use it in a negative way, you can say stingy. This means that he never gives money to other people. He never helps other people. He just uses his money for himself. But if you want to say it in a positive way, he's just careful about spending his money. He wants to make sure that it goes to the correct places, to the best people. You can say frugal. This is a term that has often been used to talk about me. I'm a frugal person. That means that I'm careful with my money. If I give money to someone else, I just want to make sure that it's used in the way that they say it will be used. I don't have problems donating, but I just want to make sure that it's in the best way. So I'm careful with my money. I'm frugal. Number 13, I could see the anger on his face by looking at his eyes. I could see the subtle anger on his face by looking at his eyes, or I could see the sappy anger on his face by looking at his eyes. Is it subtle or sappy? 3, 2, 1. I could see the subtle anger on his face by looking at his eyes. The word subtle means not obvious. Maybe it's a little bit hidden. You have to look carefully at his eyes to see his anger. It's subtle. Do you notice something strange about the pronunciation of this word? There is a B, but it sounds like a D. Subtle, subtle. If you want some more information about how to pronounce the word subtle, I made a video about some of the most difficult words to pronounce up here, and one of those words is the word subtle. So click on that video so that you can get some more details about its pronunciation. Number 14, my baby is the cutest baby in the whole world, but of course I'm blasé, but of course I'm biased. Which of these B words is the correct word? Well, we could say in 3, 2, 1, my baby is the cutest baby in the whole world, but I guess I'm biased. Biased. The word bias has a specific meaning, and in fact, we use this word a lot in daily conversation. It means that you have a previous notion that kind of affects how you feel about other things. My baby is my child, so I'm going to have a different opinion than someone who doesn't know my child. Of course, all of my feelings about my child are going to be biased. They're going to be affected by some previous idea. I want to take a look at a quick cartoon so that you can get another example for the word bias. Here we see a courtroom, and there's a lady who's being accused of being a witch, and she says, "It makes no difference what I say, you've already decided that I'm guilty." This man had a previous notion that she is a witch. She's guilty. It doesn't matter what she says, he's going to continue to think that she's guilty. And the man here, he says something that reaffirms his belief. Gasp! Witches can read minds. She is a witch. He's just reaffirming what he already thinks, which also affirms what she thinks. Here, this man is biased. He has a previous notion that's affecting how he's currently behaving. Number 15, our final question. This is a question that I often get a lot, actually. How did you learn how to teach? And I might say, it's just, I guess. It's just intuitive, I guess. Or it's just oblivious, I guess. Which one of these two words is correct? Intuitive or oblivious? 3, 2, 1. How did you learn how to teach, Vanessa? Well, it's just intuitive, I guess. Intuitive means that it came naturally for me. It's something that was already within me and it came out. This is just partially true because I also did try to channel some good teachers that I've had and tried to emulate them, but we can say here it's intuitive. It came from within me. Well, what about that other word, oblivious? Do you recognize this word from the first vocabulary test? I hope so. If not, make sure you check out that video. Oblivious and intuitive are not the same thing. We could say that, well, I guess my teaching was just intuitive. I just knew it within my mind without having to study. How did you do on this test? Let me know in the comments. What was your final score? And also I have a challenge for you. Try to make a sentence with one of these new vocabulary words, use it in a sentence correctly, and read it out loud so that you can test your speaking muscles and also try to ingrain it in your memory as easily as possible. Thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye! The next step is to download my free ebook, 5 Steps to Becoming a Confident English Speaker. You'll learn what you need to do to speak confidently and fluently. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more free lessons. Thanks so much. Bye.